We got to air it out. Let's air it out. So we got to air it out. Let's air it out. So
how do you say that? Air it out. Air it out.
Air it out. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Air It Out podcast. I am your humble host. My name is Avery Collins. What's up? What's up? What is up? And I'm joined here by a special panel today. As you can see, the one and only is not here, and neither is Darius. But we got the staple here. Coach is in the building. Coach Braxton, say what's up to the people.
Everybody, this is going to be a very, very good one here. If you guys don't already know, person below, I've been waiting for this guy to get on here since I've joined. Because, see, as you can tell, the gear is already on, so the slander is no more today.
Okay, you know what? Anywho, if you don't know who he's talking about, he is talking about my friend, my brother, Deontay Daniels is in the building. Say what's up to the people.
What up, everybody? Finally, I'm here. It's time to get to it. I've been waiting for this.
Okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get to it. We've been waiting as well. Glad to have you on. Thank you for joining. We truly appreciate it, man. All right, man. Listen, we got a good show slated for everybody today, man. So I just want to, I want to talk to you guys about everything that's going on. Basically, we're in the NFL offseason at this point, right? Not too much news coming out in the NFL and different things like that. I mean, they did just release that they are no longer going to have the vaccine mandates and NFL COVID protocols and everything like that. Basically, they're saying we're going back to normal protocols with the NFL. No more random and required testing as far as COVID and everything like that. So that, to me, I don't know if it's a benefit just yet because there's still variants and different things like that. But hey, that's their call. Their season is, a little bit a ways around the corner. So they've got some time to change that if they decide to go back or vice versa. But yeah, so with that being said, obviously, again, the NFL offseason, you got free agency. We've got the NFL Combine, which I believe starts tonight, right? It started today, right? 4:00. So, so the NFL Combine, you've got the NFL Draft coming up, all different things. But the real question is contracts. There's going to be a lot of contracts that are going to be signed, right? Extensions that are going to be made. People are going to be getting released and signing new contracts. Some people are already free agents and need to sign new contracts. So my first question is to you guys. There's a quarterback who is touted as an up-and-coming elite quarterback. Some people have already put him on an elite status. They've seen what he's done with his team and for his team. They see his athleticism. He's got arm strength. He's got quickness. All of these different things. I mean, there's some question marks surrounding him as far as size, decision making, different things like that. But I'm talking about none other than Kyler Murray. So my question to you guys: is Kyler Murray worth a max contract? Is he worth an extension at this point? Like, do you think at this point in his career he's deserving of, a max contract extension to be the franchise quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals moving forward? And I'm going to start with our resident guest here, and that is Coach. I want to hear your thoughts. Tell me, do you think Kyler's worth it?
So let's start off by saying yes, he's definitely worth an extension. Now, my only but to this situation is he worth that max $45 million range, almost $50 million range extension? That I will say no. I don't think we've seen enough, especially when he does not have the clear out weapons that he needs. If you're going to be getting paid $45 million, you need to be a guy, for me, that can do anything with whoever you have. I'm sorry. I honestly don't think that he's worth $45 million. Now, I do think he is worth an extension. I think maybe in that $40 million range is perfect for Kyler Murray. something like along the lines of the Deshaun Watson or a Dak Prescott-esque deal. But top dollar, number one type player, I don't see that for Kyler right now.
Okay, understood. One thing I don't understand what you said was about his weapons. I mean, you're talking about DeAndre Hopkins.
So, yes, but we've also seen what he's done without DeAndre Hopkins. Okay. They went and only mustered 20 points a game when he was out. With him on the field, 28. I need him to have at least 24, 25 minimum if you're going to do that. To say that you're one of the top guys, even with your top weapons out, you still need to be able to produce at the top level. We've seen what Aaron Rodgers was able to do without his top three receivers. We need him to be able to do the same, especially with him still having guys like AJ Green, like Christian Kirk, like Rondell Moore, James Conner in the backfield.
So maybe I misunderstood your comment. I think you were saying he has to do more than rely solely on his.
Exactly, because we already know what he's going to do with DeAndre. But what is he going to do with everyone else? What happens when DeAndre's out? We've seen what happens.
No, that makes sense. No, that makes a ton of sense. I agree with you there. Deontay, what are your thoughts? I mean, do you think he's worth, again, a max extension? Darren says he's worth an extension, but definitely not max. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Talk to me.
Okay. So, first, let me start by saying if you have Kyler Murray, you keep Kyler Murray. But, like my man said, a max contract? No. Kyler Murray is a dynamic playmaker. But Kyler Murray will very much lose a game for your team. He will lose a game. He will put you in a bad position. And like he said, without DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler was not the guy. He was just that little fast dude running around that would throw the ball to the other team sometimes. So it's just like I need more from him. I need him to sit in that pocket, deliver the ball to who's out there. Not only when he has a guy who can catch the ball when he's not open, because that's what D-Hop does. That's what makes him great. He can catch the ball when he's not open. Kyler Murray has trouble throwing the ball to guys who aren't really open. He can't throw people open. He needs them to be running wide open to make a pass. And the greats don't need that. They need half a yard of separation to deliver the rock. Kyler struggles with it sometimes. That's all I got.
Hey, look, I get it. I mean, some people have likened that to his height, not being able to see the throwing lanes and different things like that from that position, which is why he's better on the move or rolling outside the pocket and different things like that. To me, I agree with you both. I think he's definitely deserving of an extension. He's exciting to watch. He's obviously a guy that can win you football games. Prior to them losing to the Packers, they were undefeated. They were doing things that people were like, wait, we were not expecting this from the Cardinals, right? And he was the leader of that team. Obviously, DeAndre Hopkins played a huge role in it. I mean, he was absolutely tearing the league up. Him and Devontae Adams were tearing the league up, and Cooper Kupp, as far as like the tops of the receivers. It was those three guys, right? However, I do agree again that he cannot rely solely on DeAndre Hopkins as much as he does. DeAndre Hopkins is obviously a special talent, and the evidence of that is him not being on the field and then not going anywhere because of that. But with that being said, yeah, I think that he needs to progress more in his progressions. Again, his delivering of the football on time and in rhythm. But I do believe he's deserving of an extension. I don't even think the price of QB goes up every day. He'll get his money, but that second half stretch between injuries and bad plays does cause concern. Absolutely, without question. And so for me, I think the unfortunate thing is, as Chris just alluded to, the market dictates that Kyler is going to get paid heavily, right? That's what the market dictates. Unfortunately, I personally wouldn't give him more than like 30, 35, but he's not going to settle for anything less than 40. Seeing as you look at what their careers his career can be similarly compared to, like you said, Deshaun Watson, who's got into the playoffs. Now Deshaun has won in the playoffs. and so has Dak. But at the same time, they haven't gone far in the playoffs either. And so yeah, that's a good one there. So I like it.
Can I say something real fast?
Go ahead.
So with what I said about Kyler Murray, I don't want that to sound like an indictment on him because it's not all his fault. So like there's this thing when you have quarterbacks like a Kyler Murray, or I'm a Ravens fan, so I'll say it about Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson. When you have guys who are so dynamic, these offensive play callers like to put the entire game plan is dumb. I've seen Cardinals games where one game James Conner will snap. The next game he won't get the ball to the fourth quarter. Like that is a problem. That's an issue. So it's not all on Kyler, but sometimes there are those situations where Kyler has to throw the ball 40 times a game and he doesn't deliver.
Yeah.
But when Kyler is in a balanced offense with good weapons, he handles himself. He does really well.
For sure.
But he has to be able to handle himself to the same level without that.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
I think at the same time, even what you're saying as far as like, I've seen that as well where, James Conner snap and then the next game he won't touch it but 6 times, right?
Right.
I think that even in of itself is indicative of the I don't want to and don't hear me correctly when I say this. I'm not saying this in a negative connotation. I'm saying it just as far as a length of time, but that's indicative of the immaturity of Kyler Murray. He hasn't been in the league long enough to say, you know what? No, we're not running that play. I'm going to run football here, right? I'm going to get my guy involved. I know I can throw the ball 50 times a game, but I'm just going to decide to run the football here as the leader of this team, because that's what they're looking to him as the leader of this team. I'm going to make the decision, because here's the thing: as a young quarterback, typically young quarterbacks are not going to be like, yeah, nah, you called a passing play, I'm checking out of that. They probably like, oh, all right, cool, let's go, let's get it. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that separates guys like Joe Burrow and Mac Jones. Like they've literally raved about how sometimes they'll call a passing play and they're like, we're not running that. We're not doing that. We need to run the football right here. And that's where Kyler needs to take a step forward in that regard as well, Coach.
So you're going to put it up in a second, but there we go. I fully agree with this statement right here. I really do not believe that it's more on Kyler when it comes to the play calling and getting him into a good rhythm, because we got to understand he still is a young quarterback. When he was in college, he played at Oklahoma. Oklahoma was an up and down the field, spread it out offense. Yes, he played now in somewhat of a similar offense, but to win in his league, we all know you got to be able to do not only the flashy stuff, but the X's and O's, the down the hill, being able to run the ball, know when to check it, all of those things. He's still not there yet. And I don't believe that's on Kyler. I more so believe that's on Kingsbury than anything else.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, because he's giving him that freedom. So it's not all on Kyler, but at the same time, he does, again, and like I said, just based on his time in the league, I think he'll learn that through his time in the league. You know what? I'm going to take what the defense gives me, or again, I'm gonna get my guy involved. I'm going to call a play for him. Since we like last series, we just threw the ball 3 downs and turned it over. Next series, I'm going to make the executive decision as the leader of this offense to run the football. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that that comes with time. Now,
so real quick, so you ever been playing Madden and your team, you got a fast quarterback, so you just call passing plays because the passing play can be a running play if you really gotta get about it?
Absolutely.
I feel like the Ravens sometimes and the Cardinals play like that. They just throw the ball because if
the Seahawks,
he'll run.
Yeah, and the Seahawks.
That's why I blame Kingsbury, because you got to run the ball. You have to establish the run. It's the NFL. You have to establish the run so that the play action can get to working, so that guys can come running scot-free, so that he can hit these guys.
Now,
go ahead.
Now you touched on something, and I want to make this clear because a lot of fans don't understand what this actually means. When we say establish the run, we are not saying you must gain 3 to 4 to 5 yards a carry. That's not what we're saying.
Just make the defense think you can run the ball.
That point blank, even if you get 0 yards, even if you get 2 yards, the fact is, if you do that 2 times in a row, they might have to respect that. Okay, they're going to run the football. They're not abandoning that. And so because of that, we've established the run. Continue.
Exactly. Well, I was done.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool.
I
But
was
yeah,
done.
I agree 100%. I think it's one of the reasons that Matt Ryan has, and the Falcons, in a sense, have plummeted is because Matt Ryan is throwing the ball so much over the last 6 years. He has led the league in passing yards. That's over Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Jared Goff. All of these, he's led the league. Kirk Cousins, he's led the league over the last 6 seasons. And it's because of the fact that the running game is non-existent. They cannot establish the run. When they establish the run, Matt Ryan is a much better quarterback. And he's not the only one I'm talking about. Another prime example, and I didn't like it, but I understand it. I didn't like how they did Jared Goff, but I understand it. But again, weren't able to establish the run, so he had to get up out of there because he's a play-action quarterback. All right, now, with that being said, we're going to move into our next segment. We're going to be strictly offense here today, guys. All right, like I said, offseason, a lot of free agents, a ton of them. So we're going to talk about some offensive free agents that are out there right now. And we're going to call this segment Stay or Nay, okay? Stay or Nay, offense edition. I want to hear from you guys. We're going to do a couple quarterbacks, a couple running backs, a couple wide receivers, and a couple tight ends, okay? And I want to hear from you. Should this guy stay or try to stay with this current team, or should they leave and go ahead and just, walk someone out of there and take their talents down to South Beach? All right, so we're gonna get in there. Matt Ryan has a $40 million cap hit. Yikes! It's the largest cap hit in the NFL history. The largest cap hit in NFL history. It is the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm upset, but I understand.
Bless your heart, Avery. Bless your heart.
It is what it is, man. This is why you don't pay people when they win MVPs and stuff like that. Okay, this
uniforms fire.
Oh, we know.
Uniforms fire.
We understand.
Anywho, so we're gonna start with the quarterbacks here. So my first
100
quarterback.
My bad.
Jameis Winston, stay or nay? Deontay, I'll start with you. Does Jameis stay or no?
He gotta stay. He has to stay because you don't get to throw 30 interceptions and then somebody give you a chance and you be like, all right, my first chance, I'm out of here. No, you gotta stay. Even though Sean Payton not there no more,
he got hurt.
You have to stay. He got hurt. So you stay your butt where you got a job and you keep, because to me, you still that guy that threw 30 interceptions.
Technically, you don't got a job. You're a free agent.
Okay, well, take your butt back there where they're getting a new coach, where everything is about to blow up. They don't know if Michael Thomas coming back. They don't know what's going on. So just go over there, take whatever you can get, go back to the NO, and try to make it happen. That's how I feel about Jameis.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there. Leave it there, Coach. Jameis Winston, stay or nay?
Yeah, nah, he's gonna have to stay, and he's gonna have to stay for only really 2 reasons. One being the fact of he's coming off of an injury, and a lot of teams, like Deontay said, are going to still see him as a 30 interception guy. We've seen what he can do limited time with Sean Payton last year. He only, believe I threw 5 or 6 interceptions, which is extremely improvement for him, especially when you think about all the ways that he played. He didn't turn the ball over as much. He played very smart, checking down the ball when needed, and I really think that it was very good for him. But because of the situation in New Orleans, that's the only dicey part for me that he needs to worry about, which is who's going to be back, who's his weapons going to be. How is that offense going to look now without Sean Payton running it? And I think that's the main things he's going to have to consider. But once you think about the injuries and think about Michael Thomas is still under contract, Alvin Kamara is still under contract. They still have a guy named Deontay Harris who, as fast as he is, he's going to be very good in this league shortly. And Marquez Callaway, they got a couple weapons on there that he can work with. So I think he comes back.
Well, I'm going to actually disagree with you guys. I say nay. I think he should leave, and here's why. Number one, Sean Payton is no longer there, obviously, right? So that's the offensive guru that we saw who led New Orleans to their Super Bowl win and everything like that. Obviously, he had Drew Brees at the helm. That is no longer the case, and I believe that's the biggest reason that Sean decided to go ahead and step on out. Reason number 2, Taysom Hill is under contract, and they love Taysom Hill in New Orleans. I don't think any one of the fans would be upset with Taysom Hill being a starting quarterback for the Saints at this point. Now, whether or not they are correct in that, I don't know, but he's a fan favorite. And with that being said, the first sign of Jameis starting to turn the ball over a little too much, they're going to start calling Taysom, Taysom, Taysom. He doesn't want that pressure. Reason number 3, we don't know what's happening to Mike Thomas. Like, what's going on with Michael Thomas? We don't know. It seems like he's decided that I'm going to retire without saying it. And then you look at Alvin Kamara. He's got some off-the-field issues, legal issues, that he might not even be available if for the beginning of the season, if at all, because whether he gets prosecuted or not, he's probably going to get suspended for violating team conduct rules. So he's probably going to miss some portion of the season, and that's if he even plays this season, because what if he does get prosecuted? That's going to be a huge situation. Here's my opinion. Chris, name one of the teams that I would like to see James go to. Washington. I think Washington is a good team. The defense showed the back end of the season that they started to bounce back and get into that form. You're bringing Chase Young back in. And obviously they've got weapons there. You got Terry McLaurin, who's, again, one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL. You got Antonio Gibson, who's a great pass catcher out of the backfield, and he can run in between the tackles and do stretch plays, different things like that. I think that's a good situation. Ron Rivera is a great head coach. So I think Washington will be good. And the second team I think he could go to is Pittsburgh. There is no more Big Ben. Big Ben he's gone, right? The Pittsburgh Steelers defense is pretty solid. They're not top tier, but they're solid. They're like that middle of the pack, top 10, top 15-ish defense, right? They've got Najee Harris, who he showed he's a grown man. Obviously, the weapons sketchy, but they've got something, right? Deontay Johnson is shown that he can play in this league. If they are able to bring back Juju again, then you got another veteran wide receiver there. The offensive line started to play a little bit better toward the end of the year. They were very, very young, very, very raw at the beginning of the year. Got a little bit better toward the end of the year. And it's time for a change and a new leaf. And you've got a veteran head coach who's proven time and time again. Mike Tomlin has proven he is willing to give guys chance after chance until, that chance runs out. And so for me, I think Jameis would be a good fit for either one of those. Coach, what were your thoughts? I saw your hand go up.
Two real fast. One, his best option, this next probably guy's best option if they are to go is actually the Colts with Frank Wright at the helm. That quarter, that's probably his best option because let's really think about it. Yeah. If Winston is to go to the AFC North,
I would agree with that. If Wentz is not there, then I would agree. But if Wentz is there, there's no.
No. I see Wentz leaving. Wentz is going. I don't see him
okay.
Oh. But yeah, Winston can go there.
Me either. I think.
But Winston going to the Steelers, I would love playing the Steelers twice a year now. Give me at least 4 picks on the year.
Are you sure?
At least 4 picks in those 2 games.
Again, let's not forget. Let's not forget that's a pretty large individual.
Let's also not forget that 30 piece.
I'm just saying.
We 1 leave removed basically. He had a shimmer of excellence with the Saints, but
he's never. First of all, let's put this out here. Carson's never stepping foot in Pennsylvania again. He is done with that state. He's like, nope.
No. Yeah, so if I state like Winston would be in Pittsburgh,
the only time Carson Wentz is coming back to Pennsylvania is to play the Eagles with just to have the possibility to win. That's it. Outside of that, if he's got to play Pittsburgh, he's going to have a hamstring injury that week. He's not touching foot in Pennsylvania again. He's not doing it. Okay, I'm not mad at it though. Okay. Deontay, your thoughts on that?
So after Chris commented about Washington, I started thinking about him in Washington, and my mind took me to Pittsburgh because he just fits the mold.
Yes.
for
Yes.
the way their quarterbacks play.
Yep.
Well,
Exactly.
the way Big Ben played, because he been there 20 years. So the way Big Ben played, he fits the mold. And I take so here's the thing, right? I'm probably not the same kind of Ravens fan as Coach over here. I highly respect the Pittsburgh Steelers. I hate them as competitors, highly respect them. So I do kind of take offense to Avery saying that their defense is middle of the pack.
No, their defense is definitely
No. So when I say middle of the pack, let me clarify. Okay, they're not as elite as they once were. I believe, and so when I say middle of the pack, I'm talking about like that. Like if I was to rank them, I would rank them between like 7 and 13. That's still really good in the NFL.
So
But they're not top 5.
So I understood what you like. I get that. It's just the way I think about football is when your offense performs the way the Steelers did last season, the defense can only be so good.
True. That's true.
So when the defense is on the field for 40 minutes of the 60-minute game, there's only so much they can do.
Yeah.
So let's say if that offense performed better last season, I think that defense would be considered better. Remember,
No, you're right. No,
they
I agree.
shouldn't have, but they were still in playoff contention. So
I was gonna say, because you got to think, JJ Watt, one player, you got the defensive player of the year. TJ Watt won defensive player of the year. I think, is Bud Dupree still there?
No.
He's no longer.
But Alex Highsmith.
But I mean, that was the third person I was with. Alex Highsmith. You still got Minka. You still, again, and I'm tired of people sleeping on him because they think he old and washed. But if you watch his film, he still be really getting busy. Joe Hayden.
Oh man, stop it.
Again, he not look at this. Listen, again, he not locked up. He not locked up.
He's never been locked up.
He's not locked up.
Never been locked up.
Hey man,
he had one. No, I would say this.
He's been get put, make a tackle. That's how he's been his whole career.
He had one lockup year.
I don't know about that. Joe Hayden used to get busy. He used to get busy in Cleveland. But anyway, I digress. So we're gonna move into the next player, and I want to hear your thoughts. And I'll start with you, Coach. Teddy Bridgewater, stay or nay?
I think Teddy leaves. I think Teddy leaves. I don't think the Broncos is a bad spot with him there, but I don't think that's the spot for him. Realistically, I think he would be better off with Washington. He has guys like Chris Samuels, who will be our speedster, who he can throw to when needed. Curtis Samuels when needed. Antonio Gibson would be that guy that he's basically going to treat like a Christian McCaffrey coming out of the backfield. And then Scary Terry, who can literally do everything. With Logan Thomas, if he comes back healthy, I think that will be a better setup for him in the way he plays the game. He's not a big get it down the field guy. He's a inch it up, dink it down, make the over the middle throws. He can do all of that well. Manage the game. And I think that would be the best offense for him, especially with that defense that, like you said, started to really show in that second half of the year. So,
okay, not mad at it. Deontay, your thoughts? Teddy Bridgewater, stay or nay?
All right. Well, Teddy Two Gloves need to go where he can get a job. Now, does that mean? Now, let me answer the actual question: stay or nay? I would like him to leave, and I feel like the proper place for him is Indy. He needs to go, hand the ball off, and dink and dunk. Don't do what Carson Wentz did and throw the ball to anybody, because Carson would just throw the ball, and whoever catch you, whoever don't, whatever. Because the man threw like 40 interceptions last year. They just wasn't called. Teddy Bridgewater will keep himself out of danger. Carson will not. Carson Wentz tries to die on every play. So the exact opposite of Carson Wentz is Teddy Bridgewater. Somebody who's going to protect the ball, take what the defense gives him. He might run. He'll slide. And then he can hand that ball off. He has no trouble handing that ball off like he did to AP when he was good. When Teddy was good, not AP, he's still good. But Teddy, I said what I said.
That's facts, Mike. That's facts, my guy.
No. If he can get to Indy or Pittsburgh, we can do something.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that assessment. Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of you. I think that I think it's time for I wouldn't be mad if he stayed, because it looks like they're going to start leaning on the run a lot more in Denver. I think they really do love Melvin Gordon there and the rookie backup. His name is escaping me right now. Darren, you got it? Anybody got it? Javonte Williams. I think they like that, and I think they're going to lean on that, and they're going to be more of a power football team this year or this upcoming season. And then again, you've got Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, two good wide receivers on the outside. Noah Fant is a really good tight end as well. So I think I wouldn't be mad at that. And then obviously defensively, they didn't drop off too much after Von Miller got traded. So I mean, I think that
Not at all.
I was gonna say I think they're a solid team. And I think Teddy, if they plan to run the football, then yeah. But then I agree with you guys as well. It could just be a time for a change of scenery. Indy is a great fit. Just hand the football off. Pittsburgh, a great fit. Again, hand the football off. I wouldn't even be mad at Tennessee if they feel like, again, Ryan Tannehill turns the ball over too much. If they feel that way, because Teddy's not, right? So I wouldn't be mad at that. Again, hand the ball off. You got two dynamic receivers on the outside. So I wouldn't be mad at it at all. But I do think that he should go ahead and skedaddle. All right, next, we're going to get some running backs here. Mentioned them earlier. Want to get your thoughts? Deontay, I'll start with you. Melvin Gordon, stay or nay?
So a lot of these guys I feel the same way about. Go where you can get a job. Melvin produced in Denver, so stay in Denver if you can stay in Denver. Other than that, he has to go somewhere where he knows he's not going to be the starter, but he'll be used in a two-back kind of situation. Because I don't think he's an every down guy, but Denver's a good place for him. I think that he should stay in Denver.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'll give my thoughts. Coach, what are your thoughts? Melvin Gordon, stay or nay?
So I agree for almost some of the similar reasons, but my main thing is I do think Melvin Gordon also, first off, he is a 3-down back. Let's be honest. He can catch out of the backfield. He's great in short yardage when needed, and he still has that big play ability. He's not always that big play guy as he once was, but he still has that big play ability to break a couple tackles, make the long runs. But what his thing is, injuries, availability, and age. He's 29 years old. He's almost at that plateau for most running backs where they start to, as they say, decline. But in that two-back system with Javonte Williams, keeps him fresher, keeps him more healthy. He already knows the type of the system that they're going to run. And with Nathaniel Hackett, I think he can really get a lot out of having that two-back system. So, just think of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. That was a great tandem last year. I think the same thing will work again if Gordon and Williams is together.
Not mad at it at all. I agree. But as far as the 3-down back, I think Deontay is more so alluding to the fact that he's not like 3rd and 1. You're not like, yeah, we got to get that thing milk. You know what I'm saying? Like we not, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that's what he's more alluding to. I understand where you're coming from. Like, no, he can run in between the tackles, he can run outside, he can get you positive yards and different things. Mm-hmm. But like when you need a 1 yard, like the first thought don't come to your mind like, oh yeah, let's give it to Melvin. It's like, no, we got 230 pounds in Javonte Williams. We're gonna give it to him. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, I listen. I agree. I think that he should stay. I think he should stay in Denver because I like the two-back system that they got going there. Like you said, it keeps him fresher. Melvin Gordon is notorious for having nagging injuries and having little knick-knack injuries throughout the season. So I think that is absolutely a very, very good point. It'll keep him fresher. Javonte Williams and him seem to have a great relationship. They had a great meshing, and they complemented each other extremely well. They both can catch out the backfield as well, so that's a plus. So you don't really lose too much in that regard when either field both extremely well. I believe Melvin has excelled and rocketed Javonte Williams' growth in this area, but they both excel in pass blocking. Very good pass blocking running backs, and I think Melvin Gordon has helped Javonte in that way, in that regard, to just be better in that regard. So I think it'd be a great. I mean, like you said, he already knows the system. He already knows Denver. He bet on himself leaving the Chargers, and it's working out for him. He got paid and he's still playing. I think he was top 5 in the league in rushing touchdowns last year. So he's still doing his thing. So shout out to him. I think he should stay. All right, next we're gonna go with James Conner. James Conner, stay or nay, coach? Talk to me.
James Conner is a stay. He gotta stay because of some effect. What do they really have if he's gone? I like Chase Edmonds, but Chase Edmonds got hurt way too much last year for me. And James Conner was the guy. Like, if I'm not mistaken, James Conner had in the first 11 games 10 plus rushing touchdowns. The guy was an absolute monster for that team. And it didn't slow down until DeAndre Hopkins left, and they had to focus more on stopping the run because they knew they could lock up one-on-one on the outside against the receivers. But, oh my God. Conner, he established himself again as that beast downhill you don't want to see, and especially later on in the season, you really don't want him to be already going.
Yeah, I think people forgot, just on your last point, I think people forgot prior to him having leukemia, like he was 235 pounds. Like he wasn't no small dude. Like he was a bruiser. I believe Missouri, correct? He was a bruiser. Like he wasn't no joke.
No, from Pittsburgh. He was from Pittsburgh.
It was Pitt.
And look, just think about it like this. From his best season in Pittsburgh, he had 12 rushing touchdowns, 972 yards.
No. I'm talking about college, by the way. Was it Pitt?
Yeah, he went to Pitt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But in the NFL, best year with Pittsburgh, 900 plus yards, 12 touchdowns. First season almost starting, but mostly split in time. 752 yards rushing, 15 touchdowns.
Yeah. He
knew how to run the ball. And then not only that, he had 37 added on receptions. So he gave you that dual threat that you look for.
Deontay.
So when I think about this one, I struggle with thinking about it from the team perspective and the player perspective, right? Because if I'm thinking about it from the player perspective, I need James to go somewhere where they will value him as who he is. He got to go. But from the team, they need James. They need James. They need James. They need to run the ball. They need to give him that thing. They need to let 6 go for 6. All right, they need him. So for him, I also think that when they run the ball, they're a really good running offense. Their offense is so spread out, it gives him such open lanes. He gets to the second level so fast in that offense. So I would say stay if they're going to use him. And I would need him to go talk to somebody like, y'all going to give me the ball? Let 6 go for 6. Because if they going to give him the ball, he need to stay. But other than that, he got to go somewhere they're going to give him the ball, but really where? Because I think that's his best option too. So stay.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of great running backs across the league right now. Like the running back position is pretty solid right now if you're looking at it from top to bottom. And if you're looking at it from a standpoint, like Deontay said, stay where you're going to get the ball, right? Stay where you're going to get the ball. And I personally believe my answer is stay. I personally believe he's supplanted himself as the starter. I do not think Chase Edmonds should be the starter going into the next season. I think James Conner has deservingly warranted himself and played himself into that right. He stayed healthy, so he was available more than Chase Edmonds, and he helped your team win in a sense more so than Chase because he gave your team more points than Chase Edmonds. I get it. Chase Edmonds is that dual threat running back. He can run the ball. He's a great pass catcher. He's great in the open field. But again, James Conner, he was absolutely paramount to the success of the Cardinals this past season. And so I believe that he should stay as well. All right, next, running back. Last running back here, Rashad Penny from the Seattle Seahawks. Deontay, stay or nay?
Stay. Just because they're going to give you the ball. That's literally my only thoughts about him. They when they give it to him, they give it to him. It's the same thing it's the same thing in Arizona. When they give it to him, they give it to him. Stay. Just stay.
Okay. Hey, I ain't mad.
Stay because there's no market for him either, so just stay.
Cool. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it.
For me, it's a stay.
Coach.
I think he needs to go. And I say he needs to go because this is the first year he's planning over 100 basically rushes in his entire 4-5-year career in the Seahawks. They've had Chris Carson, they've had Alex Collins, they've had other guys, so many in front of him. They do not need to keep Penny.
Where he gonna go?
That's the thing. Penny, when he gets the ball, he had 119 carries. He has 749 rushing yards. That's 6 yards a pop with 6 added on touchdowns. He has the ability to go somewhere and label himself as a potential number 1 running back that can do it all. Because if we forget, he's a home run threat and he can still receive out of the backfield. And he's not a small guy, people. Rashad Penny's like 220, 225. He's a big boy that can go. He can go anywhere and almost be a starter. And for me, just hear me out. I would love to see him go to the Chargers. A combination of Eckler and Penny would mirror what they had with Gordon and Eckler. And that was one of their best years when they had both of those guys going. Eckler had almost over 1,000 receiving yards, I believe, that year. Receiving.
I think the Chargers is a good fit, but when it comes to running backs, I don't like to really.
I don't think they need him, but I think it's a good fit.
I don't like to really look at their success and not take into account the team that they're playing on, right? When you have Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, and DK Metcalf, the defense can't just try to focus on stopping you. So when you do get the ball, you better get 6. You better get 4, 5, 6. So it's just like that. But the Chargers would be a good fit because, like I said about them, well, not really, because Keenan Allen's not running past anybody. And
they don't.
Yeah, it's so
they're going to resign. But you also still think about this. They can resign Mike Williams, who is, we all see a jump over, run past guy, and Jalen Guyton, who's had multiple 40-plus yard touchdowns last season, and he's becoming that number 3 guy for them.
I agree that he should leave. Okay, I agree that he should leave. I would want him to stay, but to Chris's point, Seattle don't run the football. It's like Marshawn retired, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not going to do our bread and butter no more," which don't make no sense. And then Chris Carson, he can't stay on the field. So yeah, I believe he should. I believe he should go in that regard. And so for me, the team that I would think that he would have the most success on, they've got the cap space to pay him, and they need one. A solid, like, this is our guy. I would say Miami. I think that they're a good fit, right? They've got a solid offensive line. They can run the football. Their defense is absolutely phenomenal. So if they can run the football and play good defense in that division, I think that'll be a good fit for them.
It gives Tua finally a premier running back.
You know what I'm saying? Get him somebody who can. We know we can turn around and just get this ball, hand this ball off. Again, the offensive line is not bad. Tua wasn't getting sacked a lot, and he's kind of mobile himself. He knows how to maneuver the pocket. So Me personally, I think that would be a great fit for him.
That's a
All
good
right.
pull. That's a good pull.
Next, we've got receivers. All right. We were going to do tight ends, but for time purposes, we're going to do just 3 receivers here today. And I'm going to start with you, Deontay. I'm going to start with somebody who has a very similar name, Mr. Devontae Adams from Green Bay.
So with Devontae, right? For me, depends on what Aaron does. Like 100% on what Aaron does. Because Devontae is a product of his connection with Aaron. Devontae does get open, but Aaron also will stare him down and throw the ball where no other quarterback can. And Devontae's really good at knowing when Aaron's going to throw a back shoulder, or they'll do certain plays to get Devontae open. And it's just like if Aaron's not there, I don't trust Jay Love. But also, I don't think he has a choice. They said last year they were franchise tagging him. So it's like,
yeah.
whatever
Okay.
Aaron does.
Okay. All right. Coach, thoughts? Stay or nay, DA?
I think it goes. As much as I would like for them to run it back, and if Aaron Rodgers stays, that's even
Run
better.
what back?
But,
You saying?
listen.
Wow.
I keep saying running back because the team they had last year is probably the best team Aaron Rodgers has had.
They stunk.
They're probably the best overall team Aaron Rodgers has had, whether it be offense, defense, running game, than the year prior when they lost to the 49ers on their Super Bowl.
I see that team so differently than people. I think they stunk all last season. They was just getting away with it.
Listen, overall, I think that was the best team yet. But honestly, I think Adams leave. Them letting him test free agency shows me they do not care as much. And I hope that Devontae Adams sees that as well. I don't believe that he'll take that in kindness and stick with them. I don't think
that's the case. I think they could have the mindset of we don't want to hamper you or anything like that. We want you to be able to test the waters, but this is home because they're going to offer. They're going to offer now.
They'll offer him, but if you really want
$28 million
over guy,
they still going to offer him. They'll cut everybody and keep him.
Listen,
all right.
The Raiders.
We go. Okay. All right. Nay, that's too much money and player cuts for them to bring him back. The Raiders are a good spot. Okay. I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it. All right. I believe he should go ahead and bounce out there. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. He should leave. And the reason why is so he can fulfill my hot take and go to Miami like I called. All right. Next, we're going to go with Chris Godwin. Coach, I'm going to start with you. Chris Godwin, stay or nay?
This is a hard one because of the fact Tom Brady is no longer there. We don't know who's going to be the quarterback for the Bucs. And we already know they're going to have weapons for the Bucs. But is Chris Godwin going to be the same? Is he going to be treated well wherever he goes? It's a lot of factors with this one. But because of his production, because of the guy that I think he is, whether it was in college or in the NFL, I think Chris Godwin leaves and he's able to do it with another quarterback well, even after the injury. And I do see a couple of different places for him, but I think his favorite place would probably honestly be the Jags. He could get the money he wants. He'll be the number one guy on that team with actual second and third option weapons, which will work well for him. And then he had the young, great quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, who we know can do very well, but we just got to see him without Urban Meyer.
Okay, not mad at it. Deontay, Chris Godwin.
Nay, big nay. Get up out of there. Go somewhere, be the number one big dog that you are. Chris Godwin is a dog. And he needs to be somewhere where they let him be a dog, not an option. He's a dog. So nay, get up out of there. They don't even got a quarterback. Bye. They got people retiring. Everybody on the offense is a free agent. I'm out. Ali Marpet just retired. I'm gone. I'm out. Bye. Bye.
All right, well,
Go.
we know where you stand on it. We know where you stand on it. I say as well, go ahead, Nate, man, get up out of there. Atlanta could use a receiver. That's all I'm gonna say. Coach, last thoughts.
Real quick, is this a great comparison, guys, with May? Chris Godwin is similar to Stephon Diggs.
No.
Leaving out. He had a number one guy with him in Adam Thielen. Number one guy in Mike Evans.
You're talking about like career.
Oh, like
yes.
Yeah.
No, they're not the same type of guy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that would actually be extremely. Oh man,
that's actually not a bad fit, but I just
it wouldn't be a bad fit.
What y'all talking about?
No thanks.
What you talking about?
Chris Godwin on the Eagles. But I don't compare Stephon Diggs and Chris Godwin. I think Chris Godwin's a little bit more physical than Stephon is.
No, for sure.
Yeah, as players, as situationally, very similar.
Situationally, yeah, absolutely, very, 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 very similar. All right. So, and this is the last receiver. I'm going to let you guys pick one of these receivers. Okay, I'm going to let you guys pick. To start with you, Deontay. We've got Allen Robinson, Odell Beckham, Mike Williams, and DJ Chark. Pick one, stay or nay. Bruh.
You want me to be quick? You want me to be quick?
Do your thing, man. You the guest here, baby.
All right, so the answer is Odell stay, Allen Robinson leave.
Okay.
Next. I don't even want to talk about nobody else. Odell stay, Allen Robinson get up out of there.
There it is, ladies and gents. Coach, talk to me.
All right, so I'll try to be almost as quick as him, but I do want to touch on one person. Robinson, you got to go. That's just not it for you.
Excuse me.
OBJ, you stay where you're at because you done got yourself a ring. Stay where you're good at right now, my guy. It's too good of a setup. Mike Williams, stay where you're good at. Too good of a setup. You have Justin Herbert for the next 4 years minimum.
And
4 years minimum. And you want to leave? No, not smart. But the guy I really want to touch on real fast is DJ Chark. And I honestly think that he needs to stay. I think he needs to stay because the size, the ability to not only, as we said, they need a number one guy down there. DJ Chark has all of the tools and ability and has shown that he
I ain't gonna hold you. He actually fits Baltimore's culture too. He fits
the dog. Bring us another dog. Give us a dog.
Yes, it would.
See what you done did, Chris? You done got him started, Chris. Why you do this, Chris? Come on, man.
Who y'all want? Who do they want? Who do they want? We can talk about this. I can go with my GM bag. Let's go. Let's talk about it. But as I said with Chark, though, I really think he's a great potential number one guy. He's shown all the ability to do it when he's healthy. His only problem right now is health. If he can stay healthy, I think he's a great pick as the number one potential guy for Trevor Lawrence. So.
All right. Not mad at it. All right. Last topic before we get out of here. We got to bring this segment back. We used to do it every offseason, so we're going to bring it back and do it every offseason. The segment is what had happened to in the first player we want to talk about this offseason. What had happened to John Ross? What happened to John Ross? Deontay, the floor is yours.
All right, so boom. What had happened was
all the cliches. All right, so boom.
What had happened was the NFL happened. Oh, you talking about Chark? All right.
Yeah,
The
4-3.
NFL happened. So, aside from injuries, that small and fast thing does not work in the NFL. It don't. Not an outside receiver, which he was, and he couldn't get it right in the slot. That small and fast thing don't work. The field is too small, right? In college, the field is very big. The hashes are spread out, so you might have the ball 8 yards from this sideline, get the ball in the end around, be able to run around everybody, and just go around here. The NFL, you can't do that. The NFL linebackers are 230, 240, running 4.4s. You only run a 4.2. People think that's fast, but if you actually know, the difference between a 4.2 and a 4.4 is one step.
One.
It's one. It's this. Like that. This guy went. That's a 4.2, 4.4. So John Ross not that fast, and he little. Like there's a difference between him and Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is short. He's solid. Solid. Hit you with a get off me, boy. Let me run.
Facts.
John Ross is little, and that's my problem with Marquise with Hollywood Marquise Brown. He little.
He put on 7 pounds of muscle, and I believe it actually helped him this year. So
Man,
you
It did, but it's still not enough.
Listen,
he's still little though. He's still little, but I'm just
he's
saying.
still little, but we use him
He was
wrong. Back to John Ross. Back to John Ross. His skill set don't work in the NFL. He got to clean up his routes. He got to stay on the field. Is he even in the league anymore?
Yes.
Oops. All right. So just he gotta stop thinking I'm fast, and he's gotta play a different way. That's what had happened to him. What had happened to him was he went to the NFL.
There you have it, folks. All right. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, Darren, Coach, talk to me.
So what had happened was with
Blame
good old John Ross. No, seriously, he just hit too many injuries. He had back-to-back years where he started to play, but he never really fully got on, nagging injuries with an ankle and knee, and then ACL tear, gone whole year.
Mhm.
And then trying it again, started to do pretty well, hurt again, full year. It never worked out well for him. In his 5-year career, first year, 3 games. Second year, 13. The next 2, 11 total. The guy never got it going. He never could get started, really. His 1 year where he had 13 games he played, 7 touchdowns, but not really that many yards. He only had 200 yards. His best receiving year was the year after he got hurt again. 500 yards receiving. The guy just never could get it going. And like Deontay said, as a smaller guy, you got to have exceptional route running to be that small and that fast. Because you have to be able to separate and get away. You cannot, and I repeat, you cannot think just speed is going to win out.
Yeah.
You're fast. Cool. Everyone in the NFL is fast.
Yeah.
Are you fast, strong, or technical enough to get away?
And that's it right there, ladies and gentlemen. I think the prime example of these things that we're talking about, right? Again, small and fast isn't going to win. Everybody's fast in the NFL. Everybody's fast in the NFL. So you can't say, oh, speed is what kills. Like, no, everybody's fast in the NFL. You look at guys like Tavon Austin, did not work out. John Ross did not work out. Why? Because that's it. You were just fast. Even Marquise Godwin. But you're just fast. That's it. We don't care if you're fast. I'm just as fast, or I'll bracket coverage you, whatever. If you can't create separation, I really don't care, right? Now, the difference is you got these guys who are quote-unquote small and fast, but there's something else they offer. Tyreek, he's stocky. He's small, but he's stocky. And his route running has immensely improved from when he was a rookie. Jalen Waddle, small, but his route running is probably one of the best coming out of college the year he came out. That's the reason he's being able to. Say it again.
T.Y. Hilton.
T.Y. I wouldn't consider T.Y.
He's not fast, but
I would say I wouldn't
He was
consider
fast, but the older he got, the better his route running got.
very good, very true.
He
But
was
again,
able to fully adapt.
you look at these guys. Henry Ruggs, he started to get better, but again, prior to that, he was nothing because he was just fast. You have to do something else than just be fast in the NFL. That's what happened to John Ross. He was just fast. Now, granted, to Darren's point, I believe because of the injuries that hampered him as well. That was a huge hampering, obviously, but that's what had happened to John Ross. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Don't you do that, okay? All right. With that being said, go ahead, Coach. Last thought.
If John Ross was in Madden now, he'd be one of the best players.
Yeah. What?
Listen, in Madden, all you need is speed. You can be 96 speed and have 80 catching. You'll still be a talented receiver in the league.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But unfortunately, this is the NFL, and speed just don't do it there.
John Ross needs to learn how to slow down, and he needs to learn how to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two things that fast players don't have. A lot of them, they don't have it. All they can do is just run real fast. A lot of them can't stop. John Ross learned how to stop. He learned how to go that way or go that way without losing speed.
Another prime example.
Speed, be all right.
Another prime example, and he wasn't small, just fast. Now, he was great in special teams. We all know it. But Devin Hester, as a receiver, he ain't have it because, one, he played defensive back his entire college career, right? So he's a DB. So he didn't understand the concept of running routes and different things like that. And because he didn't understand that concept, all right, you go take the top off and we'll throw the ball underneath. Because that's all, you're just fast.
This is why people like Cooper Kupp, who runs 4.5s, are leading the league in receiving because they know how to run routes.
Don't you do that, Chris. You're going to stop messing with my team. Okay? TJ Duncan was a beast. Okay? Second coming to Mike Allstott. I don't care what nobody says. Anyway, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Air It Out podcast, man. We're going to wrap it up. Don't forget to go and follow us on all your social media platforms. That's Facebook, Inside the Hashes. That's Instagram, Inside the Hashes. That's Twitter, Inside Hashes. And don't forget to check out the website, www.insidethehashes.com. You get all of the football content, podcasts, blogging, gaming, fantasy football, player interviews, all types of things. Please do not forget to go check that out. That's why Dante Hall didn't pin out at wide receiver. Again, another one. Good show. Thank you, Pop. Truly appreciate it. Again, don't forget to go and like our YouTube page and then subscribe and then turn on the notification button. That way you can get informed. We are live, so you can get your live comments here and on the show. Oh, and if you don't like going to YouTube or the website, hey, we're on Apple Podcasts and Anchor and all that as well. You can, wherever you want to listen to your podcast, we're there. That's all I'm saying. So, ladies and gentlemen, for Deontay, our special guest, shout out to you, my brother.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. For Coach Braxton, my name is Avery. This is the Air It Out podcast.
Don't you mention him. Don't you mention him.
What am I going to mention?
Don't do it.
What are you talking about specifically?
Don't do it, Avery.
What specifically are
We're not talking about him today.
Are you talking about Matt Ryan and him patting the football? Because I just want Matt Ryan to stop patting the football. Because if he stopped patting the football, then people will probably not be able to pick up on when he's going to throw the football. But because he pats the football so much, defenders can read that. And then they go in and they break up the passes and stuff. So all I'm saying is, Matt Ryan, please stop that. We're not talking. That's it.